Hello, this is TJR, and if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. The idea for this video has been rolling around in my head for a number of years now, and I want to acknowledge patron supporter Kang Waitan, hopefully I've said your name correctly, for suggesting a video about songs with clever lyrics. Kang, your suggestion brought this idea back to the forefront of my brain. In 1975, Queen released the album A Night at the Opera. This album would feature monster hits like You're My Best Friend and Bohemian Rhapsody. But also on this album are two extremely underrated songs. Today, I'm going to talk about one of those. An underrated track featuring some of the most clever lyrics that I've had the pleasure to experience. Today, I'm going to talk about 39. But before we begin here, if you want to see more videos like this, please click like so that the YouTube algorithm recognizes me. 39 was written by Queen guitarist Brian May, who also sang lead vocals on the track. It bears mentioning that Freddie Mercury wasn't the only lead singer in Queen, as both he and drummer Roger Taylor did their share of lead vocal tracks for the band as well. A Night at the Opera was one of the first albums I bought as a teenager, and back in the 1970s, this song would have been classified as folk rock, a popular rock subgenre of the time. I don't know if the use of this genre was a deliberate decision on the part of the author or just a matter of simple coincidence. But if it was a deliberate choice, it was a very smart one, as it helped to create a wonderful juxtaposition to the song's lyrics, allowing the music to act as a kind of musical disguise, keeping the song's true lyrical meaning just a bit more mysterious. This way, when you finally do figure out what the song is about, its meaning will hit you that much harder. Of course, as a young 13-year-old, all of this slipped right past me. In the year of 39, assembled here the volunteers, in the days when the lands were few. Here the ship sailed out into the blue and sunny morn, the sweetest sight ever seen. The song is entitled 39, and back in 1975, the closest year to 1975 would have been 1939 in the past. Certainly not an uncommon time for large groups of individuals to migrate to new land on a sailing ship out to sea. American history is filled with stories of immigrants sailing across oceans and journeying to America in search of a better life. Of course, being an American, I'm naturally going to be thinking along those lines. However, the title 39 could also be referring to an earlier time, like say 1839, and just as easily some other country as well. Of course, as I would later find out, it wasn't referring to either of those 2 years. The song's warm acoustic textures and its pastoral lyrics convinced me that the song was referring to a long-forgotten past. And the night followed day, and the storytellers say that the score brave souls inside, for many lonely day, sailed across the milky seas, never looked back, never feared, never cried. Now, the word milky seas was actually the first clue that all is not lyrically as it might have seemed. But again, back in 1975, it was a clue that I would completely miss. Don't you hear my call? Though you're many years away, don't you hear me calling you? Write your letters in the sand for the day I take your hand in the land that our grandchildren knew. As a young teenager, I remember being puzzled by this last line, in the land that our grandchildren knew. And I wondered, are these travelers returning home to a land that they had migrated from many generations in the past? And I also mistook the line, though you're many years away, to mean that their ocean voyage lasted many years. This brings us to the next verse. In the year of 39 came a ship in from the blue. The volunteers came home that day, and they bring good news of a world so newly born, though their hearts so heavily weigh. It's at this point that Brian May's lyrics give us the final reveal. And let me tell you, it's one heck of a reveal. For the earth is old and gray, little darling will away. But my love, this cannot be. Oh, so many years have gone, though I'm older but a year. Your mother's eyes from your eyes cry to me. Now these lyrics are followed by a repeat of the chorus. Don't you hear my call, though you're many years away? Don't you hear me calling you? Write your letters in the sand for the day I take your hand in the land that our grandchildren knew. That chorus will repeat one more time, but with an altered final lyric. Don't you hear my call, though you're many years away? Don't you hear me calling you? All your letters in the sand cannot heal me like your hand, for my life still ahead. Pity me. Of course, by this time, the song's true meaning is clear. The song's title, 39, does not refer to a time in the past, although I think it was the author's intent from the beginning to fool you into thinking that it was. Instead, it refers to a time in the future. These are not ocean travelers. These are space travelers. And from the space travelers' perspective, they have only been gone 1 year. But because of the time dilation effect of Einstein's special theory of relativity, decades have passed on Earth. The line, your mother's eyes from your eyes cry to me, implies that the space traveler is now looking at his daughter. A daughter that was probably a child when he left, but is now an adult woman. And perhaps as an adult woman, even many years and maybe even decades older than him now. And through her eyes, he can see her mother's eyes. The eyes of his wife, who perhaps now is deceased, as are probably the loved ones of many of the other space travelers referred to as the volunteers in this song. He and all the other volunteers must now live in a world where the ones that they loved are most likely gone. Pity them. Now you might be saying to yourself, Einstein's theory of relativity in a rock song? But it bears noting that Brian May had been working on his thesis in astrophysics before abandoning it in order to pursue his career with Queen. In 2006, he resumed his studies and completed his thesis titled A Survey of Radio Velocities in the Zodiacal Dust Cloud and received his PhD. Pretty heady stuff for a rock band, but it's also part of what set them ahead of most of the rock bands of their time period. The song 39 plays a wonderful game of musical and lyrical deception with the listener. The use of a folk music setting and the opening line, in the year of 39, made me more inclined to believe that 39 referred to the distant past versus the far future. And the uses of phrases like the storytellers say and the ship sailed out into the blue and sunny morn also incline the listener to believe that the song is set in the distant past versus the distant future. Now, I can already hear someone in the comment section arguing that the line, the ship sailed out into the blue and sunny morn, describes a sailing ship and not a rocket ship. It's true, of course, that rockets and other interstellar craft don't have sails, but this is just poetic license. After all, how many times have you heard Captain Kirk romantically refer to the Enterprise like it was some great sea vessel of old? In 39, Brian makes all the right musical and lyrical choices to subtly misdirect the listener until he is finally ready to release the big reveal at the end. And even then, you might miss it. Its lyrics are filled with pathos, irony, and tragedy. The song is deeply romantic in both its portrayal of voyagers traveling to distant worlds and in describing the price they paid in order to do so. A mini epic portraying a lifetime, all contained within a pop song lasting 3 minutes and 31 seconds. And I believe it is one of the most underrated songs in Queen's catalog. But those are my thoughts. I'm curious to know yours. Is there another song in Queen's catalog that you think is highly underrated or has amazingly clever lyrics? Or both? I'll be curious to know what you have to say in the comments. This is TJR, and I want to thank you for stopping by today. If you like these videos, be sure to click like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. If you'd like to show some extra support, you can always leave a super thanks or consider becoming a patron supporter at patreon.com/TJR the original. Patrons do receive exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. Again, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.